and welcome to another Biz Buzz video segment from the Blank Page to Bestseller podcast. I am your host, Peter Wheatmartian, and on this week's Biz Buzz segment, myself and Colleen talk with our business partner KZ about running a book review campaign through Booksprout. Booksprout is a way that readers and writers can connect to help each other grow new books through giving reviews. So readers can go and find books that are new to review, and writers can share their books with potential reviewers to boost their own reviews and ratings on Amazon, on Goodreads, and many, many other platforms. KZ goes into a great detail about how this connection really works and the benefits to both readers and writers. As a quick reminder, please be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel here if you enjoy these videos. And we also have some YouTube shorts coming out from each of these episodes, so please be sure to check those out as well. If you enjoy the segment, please let us know down in the comments, or if you have questions or anything else you want to learn about writing, publishing, marketing, please be sure to leave us a comment. We'd love to have another Biz Buzz segment to talk about, and anything that you can say to help us grow the channel would be much appreciated. So please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, and let us know what you like. And without further ado, I am going to hand it over to myself to then introduce our Biz Buzz topic. And welcome to this week's Biz Buzz segment on the Blank Page to Bestseller podcast. As always, I am joined by Colleen and KZ for this segment. And this week, we actually have a kind of a theme behind the entire show, which is kind of building an author toolbox. So there's a lot of different tools that authors can use, whether they're writing, marketing, publishing, whatever that may be. And KZ is actually talking a little bit about the writing tools in her Tales and Threads segment later up in the episode. But today we also wanted to kind of talk to her about some or a tool that is used for many different authors, but it is kind of a fiction tool mainly, or maybe not mainly, but it's what it's known for. And that is Booksprout. And Booksprout is a review platform that is used by authors and also readers to help generate reviews for new and upcoming books. Am I kind of correct? And is that a good overview of what Booksprout is, KZ?
I think so. I think of Booksprout as being a merging of the reader and the author, because the readers benefit by, if they give a review, they benefit by receiving an early version of the book and don't have to pay for it. And the writers benefit because their book is reviewed by someone who is interested in that book.
Mhm.
Okay, they choose. The readers get to choose whether they want to join a particular review, and the authors get to choose whether those readers get to join the review.
Well, that's really great. Yeah, Colleen, it looks like you might have a question for KZ, right?
With just going back real quick, because I just thought of this, can KZ, do readers pick like the type of genre they like to read, uh, or is it mainly just fiction, or can it be both?
It is both, and the readers do choose. It is the joining the Booksprout community is free for readers, and when they sign up, they choose a selection of types of books they want to read. Okay, and then Booksprout sends them regular emails with lists of upcoming review opportunities for those books. Okay, and they get to choose whether they want to ask to join a particular review team or not. So I have reviewers for my books who um, they review every time because they like what I write. In fact, one of them even reviewed a nonfiction book, and she's one of my fiction writers and readers.
Cool.
So yeah, so they get to choose and they get to follow.
No, that's really important. I know as a reader myself, it would be really, I think, beneficial to just kind of see what's coming, what's up and coming. I mean, obviously not just for specific books that you're reviewing, but it is also nice to see what maybe some general trends are and what genres are coming up as a reader. You can get to see what the writers are really putting their time and effort behind.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Peter. I really hadn't thought of it in that perspective, but that's a very good point. That's a way for the readers to stay in touch with the books that they love reading. Yeah.
Yeah. And on that kind of path, as a reader, you said that readers get to pick what books they may want to review. Well, where when they get the books and they write their review, where do these reviews go? Where do they go to Booksprout? Do they go to Amazon, Goodreads, some other variation of that?
There are literally dozens of places where the reviews could be placed, and that choice is made by the author.
Mm.
So when the author creates the review, the review window, if you will, okay, it's a page that is created within Booksprout. Booksprout asks them to specify one. You have to have. There will always be at least one uh, platform where the review is required. For me, that's Amazon, but it doesn't have to be. It could be one of the others. And then I can choose also to have additional platforms. Their reviews can go to additional platforms. One will be required. So in other words, if I give the reader the choice of three separate platforms, like maybe I say Goodreads, BookBub, and Amazon, okay, and then I say Amazon is required, they have to publish their review on Amazon, but they can also choose to publish it on the other two.
Wow, that's really great, I think, because I know in previous episodes, a few months back, we've talked about the difference between different reviews, like what a review would be for an actual written review plus a review with like maybe just if you give a star rating or something like that. And there's a lot of different places that it can go, but obviously, we've also talked about Goodreads and Amazon and the importance of just seeing those reviews as a potential reader. So it's great that you can really point the reviewer in the place that you want to see the most traction.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's powerful for the readers as well because they may not they may spend a lot of time on Goodreads or on BookBub. So for them, they're building their own reader library on those platforms, in addition to maybe where I'm building it, my readers on Amazon. So Apple Books, Kobo, Smashwords, those are some of the other locations where they could ask to have their books be reviewed.
Well, that's really great. And I will point or the readers, the reviewers, and even authors really to the fact, or maybe to remember that I'm assuming different books perform better on different platforms. So depending on what type of genre you may or may not be writing, that's where you're going to want to put your main marketing, your review effort, I would assume, correct?
Yes, but and as a writer, we'll talk from the author's perspective for a moment on that. Um, you may be totally dedicated to Amazon, and you may be involved in the Kindle Unlimited um, uh, revenue process, revenue sharing options. But at the same time, you may also have some of your books in what we call going wide,
Mm.
meaning that they are not available exclusively on Amazon. They're also available on Smashwords. They're also available on Kobo. Okay, these are platforms where we can have our books published
Mm.
independently, depending on what we want to do as an author. So the real beauty of this process is that of this book of Booksprout in particular, I think, is that it makes all of those platforms available both to the readers and to the authors.
That's really great. And I think it's something that we've mentioned in probably every episode, just whether you're uh a reader looking to find new books to read, or whether you are an author, like you were saying, who is looking to build their review catalog, definitely go and do some research on where your genre falls so that you're putting effort into those right places. Obviously, Amazon has probably the most widely known reader or sales base, but there are a lot of those other places, like you mentioned, that might be more specific towards certain genres.
Yes, absolutely. And certain
Yep.
types of books too. For
Hmm.
example, I mean, Amazon is not the place where if you have a picture book, you probably aren't going to put your picture book on there. Not if you've got
Hmm.
a real high quality professional photo
Hmm.
book. And not because Amazon isn't capable of doing it, but it's not the best, most efficient or most affordable place
Hmm.
for your book to be. So
Hmm.
you're going to have different choices depending on the type of book you're producing. Definitely.
And I really liked how you brought up the Kindle Unlimited option as well, because I think if you're going that route, obviously putting your not necessarily all your eggs in one basket, but putting your big focus on Amazon to get your page read count up, especially in those first what is it, the 90-day exclusivity period for Kindle Unlimited. It's really good
Yes.
to make sure that readers are really putting the momentum behind that platform while you have those that exclusivity period up.
Yes, absolutely. And that's where the reviews really come in handy there. Yeah.
Hmm. So, you had mentioned a little bit about the author, how the author can make the different platforms be one or the other, like the required platforms, one or the other. Outside of just picking what platforms a review would go to, what are some other benefits of using Booksprout as an author?
One really huge benefit that keeps Booksprout ahead of all of the other products that are on the market that offer this sort of option for reviews, and that is that Booksprout requires and follows up with the readers. If you accept a a book, okay, keep in mind. Let me back up for just a second. Keep in mind that as the author, I am required to upload a free copy of my book. Okay, and Booksprout is going to deliver that to those who sign up to review my book. So Booksprout then realizes that I've given them a product that has value. And we can't trade money. I can't buy a review. It's against the rules, period.
Mhm.
It's not against the law, but it is against the rules, and I can be banned from different places if I'm caught buying reviews. It's just
Mhm.
not done. But I can trade a review for a freely given. I can give them a copy of my book for a freely given, honest review,
Mhm.
and that's what we're doing. And what Booksprout does is it requires the reviewer to actually do the review.
Mm.
There's a feature where I can say, and I always choose this, if a reviewer has not completed the last review they did of my books, they don't get the new one.
Mm.
And Booksprout also allows me to specify when I create the review campaign, okay, whether or not I am going to allow reviewers who have poor ratings to
Mm.
review my books. I don't stop that. I figure everybody might have a bad time. So, you know, and I honestly, I've only ever blocked one reviewer who was blatantly
Mm.
misusing the program, simply opting out of all the reviews after she got the book. And I finally said, no, we're done.
Mhm.
So, and that is something that I also am able to keep track of. So that's the other reason that Booksprout is so far ahead of others, is that as the writer, as the author, I can keep track of the reviewers. I have direct contact with them through the Booksprout email. I mean, I don't know them any other way, but I can talk to them that way. They can talk to me that way, and I can, if they have a problem, they can come to me and say, hey, will you give me a pass on this one? I just can't get it
Mhm.
done. And I've done that, and I'm happy to do that. I don't
Mhm.
want any reviewer to feel that writing their review is a hardship.
Mhm.
Okay. A review can be as simple as give me the 5 stars, please. But 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 seriously, the review can be as simple as just simply, hey, I really like this book. I
Mhm.
think you'd enjoy it. Pick it up. You don't have to. Some people will give them like tell the whole storyline. I'm thinking, no, don't tell the whole storyline. But that's what they do, and that's okay. I'm okay with whatever they say. But it should be an easy process for the
Mhm.
reviewers and also for the writer. Colleen?
I really like what you just said, Candy, because at one time I was going to be a reviewer for this book, a certain book, and I didn't get around to it. But it started making me nervous because I thought I would have to, write a thesis paper about review. So, yeah, and you know how I overthink things anyway. But you just saying those two simple sentences is really a great vision for people who do struggle with what to say.
Yeah, exactly. And it's important that it's honest. Go ahead, Peter.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I do want to also surprise, surprise, we have an episode for that. A few weeks or maybe a couple months ago at this point, I did do a biz buzz when I kicked off the book review segment that I did, where I kind of went through my process on what I do when I review a book. So, if you are looking to become a reviewer, maybe go take a quick little listen to that show. I'll put links to all these shows that I mentioned in the show notes, but it does you don't have to tell a whole thesis or you don't have to tell the whole story, but you have to find that. I do think it's important to find that balance between just saying, I love this book and writing a whole 5-page research paper on it.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
I can tell you as a writer, I love the reviews who the reviewers who write something quote worthy. Okay,
Hmm.
so I mean, I love every review. There's no question
Hmm.
about it. But when they write something really, really outstanding about the book, it just warms my heart, and then I can
Hmm.
say, oh, I can use that.
No, it's really great. I think that with some of the clients that we've worked with, and even with our recent book, The Right Way, um, it is really it's really empowering, I think, to see when you have that like quote worthy review, or you feel like maybe what you're doing or what you've helped an author do can really or is really making an impact in
Yes,
what is going on. Yeah, so that's really good.
and
Um,
that's true.
you know, yeah,
Whether it's fiction or nonfiction that's being reviewed, having that feedback
mhm,
is a huge validation for the
mhm.
writer, and we don't get that very often.
Mhm. Yeah, that's so true. And I think you mentioned it on an episode, maybe it was last week, or you said the fear for a writer is always that no one's going to read your book. But when you see those reviews, it's great to see that people not only are reading the book but are reviewing it and have enjoyed it.
Yes, exactly.
So I mean, obviously, Booksprout isn't just doing this out of the kindness of their heart. I'm assuming for you mentioned that the readers don't have to pay to do this, but I'm assuming there's some sort of cost for the author. Is that correct?
Yes, of course. I
Yeah.
will say the Booksprout is very, very, very affordable. It's one of the most affordable tools an
Mhm.
author can have in their tool chest when you think about the benefit and the value of the response.
Mhm.
So the cost it's a basic. I think it's their basic cost is under $10. Okay,
Mhm.
and it goes up depending on the features that you need. I will tell you, I use it pretty heavily, and I'm still in that lowest level because I don't need at this time some of the more advanced tools. Now, when I
Mhm.
need the more advanced tools as a writer, I'll definitely bump up, but it's very affordable, and the readers do not have to pay. And that is really an important part of it. And
Mhm.
I never hesitate to give the link out to anyone because I know that all they have to do is sign up for the account, give them their email address and a little bit of information. and they're going to get a lot of benefit because they're going to have emails giving them books that they can read for free.
No, that's really great to hear. And I think we've covered pretty much everything on Booksprout that I can think of. Is there anything that we've missed just coming from the writer's perspective, KZ?
I want to just mention one thing about this that we haven't said anything about, and that is when we're working with a product like Booksprout, we're working with what are called ARC readers or ARC teams. We haven't actually used that word, and I want to bring that word in.
Hmm.
And that simply it's an acronym that stands for Advanced Reader Copy. So what you're doing is what I have done is I have created teams, people who enjoy doing these reviews and who do a lot of them, and
Hmm.
they choose to join my team. And when they do that, they get the first option to pick up my book. It comes out earlier. They get it before anybody else does. And the really cool thing about the team structure is that you get the chance to get to know the people on your team, and they get to know you a little bit as an author. One of the things that I've always wondered about is why does anybody write these reviews? Think about it. What are they really getting? Yeah, they get to read a book. but
Right.
uh, but 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 a lot of these people, a lot of the people on our review teams, on our ARC readers, they're reading dozens of books, sometimes dozens a week, um,
Hmm.
and they benefit from this because they're using this as part of in their world. There's a value in their world. Perhaps
Hmm.
they're learning to become an editor. Perhaps they're preparing to be a writer themselves. By the way, writers typically do not join ARC teams. It's too tricky. We don't want to, we can't. We really
Hmm.
don't do that. But many ARC members, ARC writers, review writers will graduate eventually to be book writers.
Hmm. Yeah, Colleen.
Hey, Candy, one question talking about the ARC teams. Is there a certain number of readers you want on your team, or does it grow and then you just choose a certain amount? How does that work?
It does grow. I find that I will tell you that the big name writers, the really big name writers, that they have thousands on their team,
Hmm.
and so that's how they get hundreds of reviews on the first day. And I don't. I have a few hundred on my team. Okay, um, I would like to have more. I would be very happy to have a thousand readers on my review team. That would just thrill me to no end. Um,
Hmm.
and it will grow. It does grow. I ask, I market my review team option in my newsletter, and I ask as my newsletter list grows, so does my ARC reader team.
Hmm. That's really important. I think I want to kind of also go to the ARC um, acronym again. You said it's Advanced Reader Copy. I know also if you're thinking like in a traditionally published world too, sometimes you might have heard like the word galley copy or something like a pre-publication copy of the
Yes,
book. And one thing that is um, important, I think, is while you as an author want the book to be sent out in a perfectly pristine, prim and proper A plus format, some of these ARC copies or whatever may not be exactly what is the final product, correct?
it's pretty much a given that what the ARC reader gets is going to be close to a final, but it is not going to be the same version that is
Mm-hmm.
in the final book. And actually, many of our sorry, many of our ARC readers will give us feedback
Hmm.
and tell us, "Oh, I found a typo on this page," and or they'll say, "Oh, you know what? I think you missed something here. You might want to go back and check it out," because
Hmm.
they're aware of the fact that they are getting a draft copy.
Hmm. No, I'm assuming, I mean, you're not going to necessarily completely delete an entire chapter or add a whole chapter, but yeah, there are going to be some I mean, you're not going to go and kill off your main character two chapters before the end after a galley or after an arc copy goes out. But it is great to get that feedback.
It is. Although if I was doing a beta reader, that would be a different matter. I might kill the character off.
And that is true. About you mentioned beta readers. There is a difference between the ARC readers and the beta readers.
Yes, there is, and that's another day's conversation. But yes, it is. There is a big difference. Both have
Mhm.
a great value to the writer.
For sure. Yeah. So, I think, like I said, we've covered a whole lot of things. Is there any other questions you have, Colleen?
I think you guys have covered it really well. And thanks, KZ.
You're welcome. I think I have to stop talking pretty quick.
No, I think we could all listen to you talk about this as much as you want to talk about it. I love. I was actually talking with one of our guests. Probably come out in a couple of weeks or so, but he was talking and talking and talking after I asked him a question, and I could just as we're doing this on Zoom, so I get to see what they're how they're talking and what they look like. Sorry, listeners. You don't get to see us all, but it was really great because I saw the smile on his face when he was talking. And it's really great when you get somebody who knows what they're doing and is excited about what they're doing and is knowledgeable about what they're doing. I just let them talk and talk and talk because it's great to see somebody really kind of hit that zone and be excited about what's going on. And I can tell. I know you KZ are really excited about your fiction writing.
Yes, I am. You're right.
Mhm. Well, I think we have covered everything on what Booksprout is. And like I mentioned before, I'll have a couple of links to some previous episodes where we talk about reviews. And also be sure to listen to the next segment, the Tales and Threads segment with KZ, because she's going to continue talking about writing tools. And if you enjoy the Biz Buzz segment, please check us out on YouTube as well, because I will have a full Biz Buzz YouTube video up as well, and I'll have a few shorts highlighting some of the great things that we've talked about in this week's Biz Buzz segment. So please be sure to like and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts, and also on YouTube on our YouTube channel at The Author's Voice, and I'll have links to those in the show notes.